getting upset at my BF for hanging out with younger manager and telling her our business? My BF, 46M, and I, 42F, just had our first fight, and I really need some outside perspective. My boyfriend and I just had our first real fight recently, and I'm really torn. I'll give some context and really need some advice on what to do from here on out. My BF and I have been together since October 2023. We reconnected after dating in 2022. Everything has been fine and dandy so far, but the last month has been extremely trying for the both of us. My mom had emergency surgery, she's my main source for childcare, everyone in the household got COVID, my daughter got a respiratory infection right after COVID, she's on the spectrum and has been acting out in school, and my health, chronic autoimmune disease, has been slowly getting worse. Needless to say, our bedroom life has taken a nosedive since, and we haven't been intimate in almost 2 months now. This plays a small part in the fight we had. Here's what happened and what started it all. We both work in the same restaurant, which is how we initially met, and really like our jobs. I'm a server and he's a cook/BOH, I know, stereotypical restaurant relationship lol. We are both friendly with one of our managers, 27F. I really like her and think she's a great manager. We get along really well at work, but don't really spend time outside of the restaurant. We've only hung out one time outside of work, which was over 2 years ago. My BF works with her and speaks with her more often than I do, which I have no issues with. The night before last, my BF had to work until close. I was off that day and the restaurant closes at 11 p.m. I have my daughter, so he told me he'd get a ride home. Manager is the one closing, so he asked her for a ride. This has happened a few times in the past because we only have one car and my daughter is in bed by the time the restaurant closes. I'm perfectly fine with that, as I'd rather he ask someone for a ride over spending money on a cab. He texts me on and off all night, and things are good, no issues. I usually fall asleep between 10 p.m. and midnight most normal nights. BF texts me a little after 11 p.m. that night, telling me to get some sleep. I fall asleep and wake up around 1 a.m. with some stomach pain and BF is not home yet. I text him, asking if everything was okay. No response. By now, I'm awake and just playing on my phone. 1:30 a.m. rolls around and I text again, no answer. My BF ends up getting home about a half hour later, around 2 a.m., so 3 hours after the restaurant closes. I'm awake when he gets in, so I get up and ask him what happened. Long story short, he tells me that he did a bump with manager and had bought a couple shots at the gas station to drink while he waited for manager to close the restaurant. She offered him the Coke and he accepted. He also said there was money missing from the restaurant and that was the reason it took so long for manager to close. I was so tired at that point from hurting that I just kinda listened and didn't respond much. My nighttime meds make me kinda loopy as well. He also told me he had been sitting in the driveway with manager for the last half hour and didn't hear his phone go off when I texted the last couple times. I had been awake since 1 a.m. and didn't hear any car pull into the driveway, but maybe I just didn't hear them pull in because I was groggy. The last text I had received from him was the one from around 11 telling me to get some sleep. The next day is when my brain starts going into overdrive. My BF usually stays up all night and sleeps most the day. I work lunch shift right now, so we have completely opposite schedules. I keep thinking over and over about the previous night, and start getting upset. When he gets up for work, he can tell I'm down, so I tell him what I'm feeling. I tell him I'm uncomfortable with what happened the previous night. His response was not a very pleasant one. He decided to stay home from work to try and fix the situation because he could tell I was upset and said I'm more important to him than a job. A lot of my being upset was embarrassment that I was worried something might have happened with manager. I have respect for her and felt kinda dumb for having those thoughts. I just kept thinking what if, throughout the day, and it put me in a funk. The fact that him and I haven't been active in the bedroom played a big part in why I was worried. The fact that he came home 3 hours after the restaurant closed, was doing blow and drinking, and didn't text me after 11 p.m. is what really got to me. I didn't accuse him of cheating, but I was worried something inappropriate happened. I was down/sad and told him I was uncomfortable with the night before and felt kinda stupid because he had never given me a reason not to trust him before. He sat in front of me, told me he would never do that, and asked, "Have you cheated on me?" That question bothered me a lot. I literally sit at home with my child when I'm not working or going to doctor's appointments, play on my phone and / or watch TV, and listen to my favorite band. That's it, and I'm happy with my life that way. I've had a crazy past full of abusive relationships, drugs/alcohol, and trauma. I've been sober from opioids for over 5 years now and I'm good being settled. That question made me feel like I was being gaslit. After everything had settled and I explained my feelings to him, I start to order dinner, and next thing I know I get a message from manager. She apologized about last night, how nothing inappropriate happened, etc. This is where everything escalated. My BF decided to tell manager exactly why he called off for the night. I was not happy. I said, "You told manager? Why would you do that?" This was a private conversation between him and I, in my opinion. I was extremely embarrassed that he told her everything we had discussed and why I was upset. He then gets pissed and very angry because he says he had to tell her why he was calling off work and doesn't know what I want him to do. He says he couldn't lie about why he was calling off work and he stayed home to make things right. I'm hurt. My feelings are hurt not only because he was hanging out, doing drugs and drinking with another chick who's almost half my age, but also because he took something I considered a private matter between us and told everything to the very person I was worried about. We haven't spoken since that night. What the hell am I supposed to do? After all of this happened, my trust is almost gone. I understand his feelings, his explanation of that night's events, and why he called off work, but to get angry at me for being upset that he told our private business to the one person everything was about. I honestly don't know what to do. This is our job. This is my livelihood. Please refrain from comments about dating restaurant coworkers or mixing business and personal. I know all the stereotypes and jokes. It's not just about him staying out late. It's the fact that people at restaurants love drama and they talk. I am a private person and now I have to worry about people talking behind my back. I know I shouldn't care, but that shit gives me anxiety. So, AITA for not fully trusting my BF for his actions that night and telling manager our personal business, or am I in the right for being upset with the entire situation? I need some advice because we are not speaking with each other, there's major tension in the home, and our relationship is currently on the rocks.